of competitiveness. He changed the game. He changed the game. I mean, not just in one aspect, in many aspects, in every aspect of the game, he changed it. I played against some greatest players in the history of this game. Michael Jordan was one of those guys that lifted my ability to the next level. We enjoyed the competition with one another. We played very hard, fiercely against one another, but it was like you had two gentlemen going head to head. Michael Jordan and I wasn't just coming down the court getting dunks at the dunks. We found creative ways to score. I can't tell you the fun and the pleasure I had to play against him. You know, and Michael and I, we never really talked about those games. It was kind of an unspoken thing between us. You know, the respect level that we had was at a different level. I think I had a great game in Atlanta, and I remember going to Chicago. Michael walks into our locker room, and we're still in suit and tie. We haven't gotten dressed yet, and he walks in our locker room, suit and tie, and I was like, what are you doing coming in our locker room? And I ain't gonna say exactly what I said. And so he walked by me, he walked by Kevin Willis, and he got to Randy Whitman, he tapped him on his butt, and he said, lace him up, it's gonna be a long night. He got 60 that night. He got 60. And it was a very close game. I think it went down to the last shot in that game, but I think he proved his point.
Famous Chicago, dramatic setting for our game today. Welcome everyone to Chicago. This is Kevin Harlan along with me, Clark Kellogg. We've got David Aldridge joining us from the sideline as we get set to watch the Atlanta Hawks go up against the Chicago Bulls. Clark, this should be a beauty.
You know, each of these teams, Kevin, has a guy who is in the running for the league lead in scoring. I'm, of course, talking about two guys that don't need introduction, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. Going to be a lot of fun watching these guys try to one-up each other offensively.
And Clark, beyond just Jordan and Wilkins, plenty of other talented scorers on each of these teams as well.
Kevin, you make a very good point. I mean, these are two impressive high-octane lineups, which I think could result in this score really getting run up in a hurry.
This should be one to remember. And out there for Atlanta, Spud Webb at the point with Doc Rivers at the 2. At the forward positions, Dominique Wilkins and Moses Malone. John Koncak will be at center. And starting things off for the Bulls, it's John Paxson at point guard with Michael Jordan also at the guard. Then Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant at the 3 and 4. The veteran, Bill Cartwright in the middle.
Expectations are high for Jordan and Wilkins in this one. They're both exceptional scoring threats, and I know their teams are expecting each of them to be the difference makers out there as they try to get the W.
Now here's Malone. Webb the pass to Rivers. Webb against Paxson. Paxson pulls it in. You know, often, Clark, it's the team's respective leader who sets the tone for their whole squad.
You are correct, partner. So if Jordan or Wilkins can manage to get off to a hot start, that could spread to the other guys and get their whole team rolling early.
That's a good point. Outside Wilkins. That's short off the rim. You know, Clark, in some ways, this game could come down to either Jordan's or Wilkins. And who scores the most? Outperforming the other could seal the game for their team.
And, Kevin, that's exactly what we'll be keeping a close eye on. Which one is leading in the point column? Because I agree the winner of that duel very well could decide this thing.
Oh, what a duel it's going to be. All right, Clark, Wilkins and Jordan. A couple of talented one-on-one players who are both going to be seeking mismatches in this one.
And, you know, Kevin, if you're on either of these teams, you've got to be ready to come at Jordan and Wilkins defensively. Don't let them dictate things. Low-effort defense, not going to get it done because they'll take advantage of that fully.
Oof. And Malone with the stone. Obviously, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Clark, both apply great defensive pressure. You know, but the Hawks have some fast hands and some nice defensive skills of their own.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. I mean, you think about Doc if the Bulls aren't careful around Rivers, he could create a lot of havoc and force a bunch of turnovers. And in a contest between two very high-scoring teams, we know every possession counts.
Yeah, Rivers is like a coach on the floor.
He really is.
Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter. It's been a quick start here for Chicago. It's a 5-point game. And the shot goes in. And that's now 9 points for Jordan.
And Jordan is simply amazing at finishing through contact. Doesn't matter what you throw at him or who, he finds a way to score.
And so it looks like the Hawks will retain possession here. Ball. They swipe it. The number one objective, Clark, of this Bulls defense has to be limiting Dominique Wilkins' looks. They've got to contain that incredible scoring of his.
Kevin, you're all over it. Right on point. I mean, if Chicago can't disrupt his usual scoring, then they're in for a long night and some real trouble.
The two scoring leaders facing off. But to dig deeper, let's go to a guy who can dig as deep as any, David Aldridge. D.A.
Thanks, guys. We know that Dominique and Jordan's scoring will probably be the big story of the night, but there's a lot more to these guys' games that could affect the outcome. With Wilkins, we've seen a new focus from him on improving his rebounding, and as always, Jordan's defense can be just as impactful as his offense. Well, guys, back to you.
You know, David, that's an interesting point. I think you're right. It's not just Clark about scoring tonight. It's got to be a multifaceted game. Wouldn't you agree?
I certainly would, Kevin. Limiting your opponent's touches and disrupting their shot attempts and their offensive flow, I think could be the real name of the game in this one. You just can't get it done with offense alone.
I know Jordan takes pride in his defense. We'll see if that's true tonight.
Yep, we'll keep an eye on that. Their scoring has been a problem. Been tough to handle.
The Hawks trail by 13. Credit to these Hawks, Clark, for having a constant postseason presence these last few seasons.
3 straight second-round appearances, and then last year a tough loss in the first round. But I say don't let that fool you. These Hawks are a very competitive team.
They really are.
They have set the tone in the paint, getting whatever they want.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks.
The interior defense has been very subpar, and I bet their coach is letting them know about it.
Atlanta making some changes. Willis, he checked in for Concat. Carr comes in for Moses Malone. And Smith subbed in for Spud Webb. Now here's Rivers. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. To halt the run, he lays it in.
Doing damage inside. Rivers absolutely fearless. Loves to take it up in there.
And so it's Pippen with it. He brings it up for the Bulls. The shot's good from Jordan.
Really smooth shot that time from MJ beyond the arc. Hawks can't afford to let him get it going from the three-point line.
Knocks it loose. And here's the fast break. Jordan leading the way. Some fresh competition, Clark, for the Bulls and Hawks in the league this year, with 2 expansion teams coming to the NBA in Orlando and Minnesota.
Exactly, Kevin. I mean, these teams are focused on the game at hand. That's pretty obvious, but this is a very interesting time for the NBA. A lot of new talent and a new landscape.
A lot of growing indeed. Now, here is Jordan. He's got 22, and the Bulls another 3.
They've been the aggressors right from the start, asserting themselves from the very beginning.
Smith kicks to Rivers. Pass to Carr. And the rejection by Pippen.
Pippen putting in the work to get there for the denial. That was really a nice hustle play.
Michael Jordan rising up. A nice shot by Jordan.
And, you know, their lead just continues to grow, and it's not just because of their offense. They're getting it done at both ends.
Oh, and they need a basket in the worst way.
I think they're forcing things right now, and it's why their offense looks so pedestrian.
Atlanta calls timeout.
Well, an obvious situation to call a timeout there.
Pippen against Wilkins. There's 48 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Smith. Lays it up off the glass. Clark, I know the Bulls are hoping for big things this year after making it all the way to the conference finals a season ago.
You know, I think Chicago proving they can handle teams like these Hawks could be a really good sign for them as they look to become a more dominant and consistent force in this league.
Here's Rivers after the Bulls pick up 2. Wilkins in the post. Guarded by Pippen. Wilkins' shot is off. The Bulls leading by 23. Here's Jordan. There's the drive. And Michael Jordan, no doubt, one of the greatest dunkers of this era.
Always looking to drive in attack mode constantly. When the D gives him a lane, he tears him up.
And as it goes out of bounds, Atlanta able to keep the ball here.
Atlanta ball. Now in the lineup for the Hawks, Cedric Toney.
Let's take a second look at that fantastic block.
An emphatic rejection that was. Boy, you got to appreciate that kind of forceful, in-your-face defense.
Shoots from the elbow. And too long on the shot. And the buzzer sounds to end the first, and we've got a blowout underway here. Bulls out front, running away with this one. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. Welcome back, everyone, to Chicago as the second quarter gets underway. It's been an exciting game so far between the hometown Chicago Bulls and the visiting Atlanta Hawks. They've got Pippen. Grant is out there with Cartwright. Then there's Armstrong. And it's Jordan in at the shooting guard. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter.
For the Bulls, they've got a new coach at the helm this season. Yes.
Here's Jordan. 2 more.
Jordan has no problem with being closely guarded because it doesn't bother him in the least.
Webb can't hit. Jago and Clark, I hear he's got some interesting ideas when it comes
pieces to test that. But what I think matters most, chemistry between players and head
can be.
That's a very key deal.
Now looking back at the opening quarter to stay ahead of Wilkins in points scored.
Yeah, really good start for him, Kevin, in that regard, but can he keep doing that?
Right.
Pretty good display of strength by Jordan there. Absorbed the contact and still able to nail the shot.
This is his second trip to the line in this one. So for the Hawks, Livingston's checked in for Willis, and it's Rivers. Here's Rivers. The shot's good on the assist from Wilkins. Rivers has got his second bucket of the game to go.
It all started with the pass. That's what coaches love to see, ball movement. Quite honestly, I mean, they've taken away the easy looks for him, and they're making him work for every shot against a great scorer like Wilkins.
Yeah, make him work for every... So far, Michael Jordan is in.
And that's not, but, you know, that doesn't bode well for the Hawks as Wilkins has been unable to answer, which I think says a lot about the job the Chicago defense. He is certainly a dominant player, Michael Jordan. When he's in the zone, unstoppable.
Let's go to David Aldridge, who has some Chicago Bulls.
Hey, Kevin, when you say, what's the key to success against the Hawks? Answer, Michael. They expect big numbers from Jordan, probably exceeding his average of 35 points from last season. Back to you, Kevin.
Well, that's good stuff there, David. Sometimes, Clark, the answer is that simple, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have to complicate it, especially when you're talking about Jordan, because he does make it really simple. Although he's not a one-man show, his whole team is going to have to still step up.
And they take pride in that, don't they? Helping this very special talent do what they've got to do.
Yeah, they're pros, and they get their checks twice a month, too. Well, you got to appreciate how consistent these Atlanta Hawks have been. I mean, season to season, even while going through some...
Now here's Rivers. And he can't stop the run.
Desperately needs something to fall.
Them clean. That's tipped and stolen by Jordan. With the Hawks here in his building, you can see the way Michael Jordan is approaching every possession, looking to make an impact. So it's the Hawks now. Clark, as we know, last year the Hawks were able to hit 50 wins for the 4th consecutive season.
And, Kevin, I think that speaks to, obviously, the product on the floor, but the quality of their organization, too. I mean, these are players and coaches who just know how to win games.
On the clock, Livingston. Here's Malone, and it's to get it back. And another shot. Pippen with the steal. And Jordan slams it home.
The signature airtime of the one and only Michael Jordan going upstairs for the dunk.
And it's Rivers with
Hawks and the Bulls, when you look at the measurables of teams and players, pretty standard for the league, with explosively athletic backcourts and then quite a bit of size down low, too.
Shot from the top of the key, and again it's Michael Jordan. Jordan's got 59. Rivers kicks to Webb. High, arcing shot. Chicago grabs the miss. Grant's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Right side, Jordan. Got a piece of it. They get it back. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession. The Bulls making a switch here. Maxson's checked in, and the Hawks will go for a different look here. Kevin Willis is checked in for Malone. Hart, that's checked in for Rivers. And it's Tony in for Spud Webb. Well, as you can see, when you're casual with the ball, it can come back to bite you.
For sure. I mean, playing can hurt you. It can cut both ways. I think they've got to tighten it up a little bit here. Wilkins showing he's more than just a scorer.
Here's Jordan.
And then Chicago crowd erupting. What a jam by Michael Jordan.
It's Wilkins on the wing. Beyond the arc. Scottie Pippen grabs the miss. With 1 on the clock. On the assist by Pippen. Pippen's got assist number 5 here tonight. And so it's Michael Jordan making things happen for Chicago. They kept going to him again and again. And he delivered with a monster quarter. And we'll be back with you shortly. So welcome back, everyone, to the 3rd quarter of this contest between the Bulls and the Hawks, where Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins have been going at it.
And as this second half gets underway, the defensive ability of the Hawks is important. You got to limit your opponents down the stretch, and both of these teams have the ability to do that.
And so in the game for the Hawks, Webb out there with Rivers. Then it's Malone. Then it's Concat. And it's Wilkins, and it's small forward. And so the ball out of bounds. Jordan touched it last. And we have to take another glance at that powerful rejection.
Boy, and that'll give them a nice injection. Nothing like a rejection to get a team fired up.
We were talking about this before, but Clark, some very capable defenders on both sides of the floor.
No doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, the duo of Pippen and Jordan, so effective at wreaking havoc and forcing turnovers. And the Hawks have Doc Rivers, who can hassle ball handlers. He's physical as a backcourt defender, as well as Moses down low to eat that glass and block shots, too.
Both are fun to watch. Misses off the right iron. We're going over the numbers from the first half. Clark, Jordan was able to top Wilkins in scoring in the first and second quarters combined.
A critical advantage partner that he worked really hard to get. Not all of his hoops were easy ones.
Right, you're right on that. He's made one and missed one so far in the game.
At the line for Chicago, Michael Jordan. Shooting one.
You know, there's so much that's amazing to me about Jordan, but his endurance stands out. He consistently gets stronger, it seems, as the game goes on.
The kick out to Wilkins to end the run. Kept alive by Atlanta. And it's Malone missing. Now the Bulls with it. They haven't given up any points here in the second half.
Their offense has really stood out. They're piling up the points and torching this defense.
Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. Offensively, Clark, things have sort of fallen apart for him.
And they need to recover as soon as possible.
Knocked away. Stolen by Grant.
These Hawks have a trusted and capable leader steering the ship, and that's Coach Mike Fratello. He won Coach of the Year for his work with this team in the '86 season.
So it's the Hawks now. The Bulls getting the bucket. And he lobs it up toward the rim, and Grant sends it back.
One of the better defenders in this game, Grant, teeing off on that one.
And Jordan gets it to go.
You know, with that kind of height mismatch, you've got to send help defensively.
Atlanta with the ball. They're scoreless since the first half. Yeah, an experienced coach who knows his team inside and out. That's Mike Fratello. Clark, do you think that gives the Hawks an advantage?
I think it could, Kevin. I mean, Coach Fratello will have an easier time seeing what his team needs out there and will know what adjustments best suit this squad.
And so it's Atlanta with it. And it's sent back by Wilkins. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. To end the drought, it's deflected. And here is Cartwright. He's been pitching so far, nothing on the scoreboard yet.
When you think about Michael Jordan, you think about scoring, putting the ball in the basket. But he does a lot of other stuff out there as well, like moving the ball effectively.
Now here's Rivers. Passes to Wilkins. That one misses. Some solid defense from Pippen. Pulls up. And there's Michael Jordan, the assist by Cartwright. Jordan's got 18 points now here in the second half. You know, we touched on it. Last year, Michael Jordan Clark was actually 8th in the league in total assists. He was a top 10 assist guy.
It's not something that comes to mind when you think about him, but it's very impressive nonetheless, Kevin. Shows you what kind of leader he is. He knows he's got to get his teammates involved and work well with them for his team to be its best.
He's a terrific facilitator.
No doubt.
Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
When you're down and losing, those plays just cannot happen.
Hodges checked in for the Bulls. And the Hawks making a change here as well. Livingston's checked in for Concacaf. Here in the third quarter, the Bulls, Clark, have managed to be pretty effective when it comes to defending Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, you know, their focus, Kevin, in terms of defending him, I think has really been good. Really good. And I think you can tell it started to frustrate Dominique a bit.
You can. The Bulls shooting their fourth shot at the foul line here. For the Hawks, Carr is checked in for Malone. Smith comes in for Doc Rivers. And it's Tony in for Spud Webb. Free throw good, Jordan. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Wilkins outside. Tony against Paxson. Pass to Livingston. Will it go? And he uses both hands to jam it in.
Nice strong finish on that jam.
Yeah, he went with two hands for safety. I get it. As we get deeper into this game, Clark, it has been all Jordan offensively, as we can see, leaving Dominique well behind him.
You know, I didn't think it would be this one-sided. I mean, Jordan has just been operating at a totally different level. And Dominique has not managed to match that intensity or production.
You're so right.
Known as a jump shooter primarily, Smith is also skilled at getting it done in close.
Here's Jordan. And the basket is good.
And perhaps the coach lit a fire under him at halftime because they have owned this third quarter.
And the Hawks with possession. Wilkins wide open, and he fires. The three-pointer no good.
Just unable to get into any kind of rhythm this quarter.
And slam dunk by Jordan.
They're not just on fire. Nothing is getting in their way on offense.
And it's Smith with the ball. He brings it up for Atlanta. The pass to Tony. To the middle. The rebound by Cartwright. Cartwright's got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. Here's Jordan. Grant trying to break free. Michael Jordan again.
It's incredible the adjustments Jordan can make in tight quarters. Just tremendous body control.
For three, Wilkins. Doesn't go for it. Now Chicago takes it the other way. And the dunk by Jordan.
Well, they had the opportunity to break, and man, did they ever. They took full advantage of it.
With the assist.
There's 38 seconds left to play in the third. Pass to Tony. Jordan against Wilkins.
Chicago foul.
And the Hawks making a change here. Willis is checked in.
First team foul. Coming on the floor.
Here's Tony.
Kevin Willis.
Pass to Carr. To stop the run, they get the rebound. Willis. And it's Willis finishing it off.
Boy, T-Rex, they call him. Kevin Willis devouring those second chance points.
Jordan way outside. Rebound by the Hawks. Here's Wilkins. Oh, and the dunk by Wilkins. Dominique raising the intensity with that one. This matchup with the Bulls brings out his absolute best. And so it's Chicago with a huge lead at the break. Safe to say there's no catching them today. And they've created a bunch of turnovers with that terrific team. We'll return shortly. Welcome back, everyone. We get into the fourth quarter of this thrilling game between the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls. And this crowd is feeling it.
As this game wears on, you have to be so conscious of Michael Jordan. I mean, he's got something of a reputation for being a closer, and that's an understatement. He finds a way to push himself beyond his limits to come up with clutch points when his team needs it most.
So with Pippen sitting on the bench, this is Phil Jackson's lineup. We've got Armstrong, Neely out there with King. Then it's Jordan, and it's Purdue in at the center position. Outside, Willis to the right side. Got a piece of it. Pulls it from the elbow. And there's Michael Jordan, the assist by Neely.
In the open floor, few are better than Jordan. MJ can literally fly.
Knowing that Michael Jordan likes to explode down the home stretch offensively, Clark, think the Hawks might increase the defensive pressure on them.
Out of bounds.
You know, it wouldn't shock me, Kevin, if they did just that. Just make sure somehow, some way, you don't allow him to put together a run.
Livingston's checked in for Atlanta. Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Willis, the pass to Livingston. 6 on the shot clock. Tony, no luck.
You know, something I like about both of these teams, the Bulls and the Hawks, is the experience they have, the range of experience. I mean, you've got younger guys like John Koncak and Horace Grant, and then you've got the seasoned veterans like Moses and Bill Cartwright. It's a really good balance.
Here's Willis. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Jordan's got 6 rebounds now in the game. And he finishes nicely on the way. Jordan's got 8 here in the quarter. Clark, I've always wondered how valuable you think it is for younger players to get a chance to play alongside more experienced players.
Kevin, I think it's crucial and absolutely vital. Older guys have a way of being able to teach a young star so much about patience and which battles you fight and which ones you let go and how you carry yourself as a pro and all of the nuances of playing in the NBA. Good veterans can help young players set the tone for the rest of their career.
That's a great answer. And Clark, as we come toward the end of this game, winding our way toward the finish line, the Bulls are doing all they can to limit Dominique Wilkins' production.
And it's working. They're making a strong effort to keep Wilkins from getting a lot of shot attempts.
Smith, no luck. Here's Chicago. A nice run, going 12 in a row. Bucket is good.
They can't miss on an absolute tear.
With the assist.
Now Tony. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes. Oh, and there he puts it down! Oh, my goodness.
And the high-flying antics of Jordan, simply awesome.
Smith scanning the floor. The Hawks again can't hit.
Well, you've got to be there defensively. I mean, that's an easy mid-range jumper that he'll typically drain.
Here's Jordan. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup.
Boy, what a ruthless, wicked dribble move that time by Jordan. Threw his defender off and got the space he needed to fire.
So it's Atlanta now. Nothing doing offensively yet for them in the fourth. King with the steal. Deflects the pass. Here's Smith. King with the block. Smith's gone just 2 of 6 shooting, 33%. Ring shot on the way, and he knocks down the jumper.
And when Jordan is in rhythm now, his pull-up game, deadly. Shoots it with such confidence.
Tony the pass to Smith. And no good. So the Bulls will take it the other way. Here's Jordan. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Clearly, he got it, no doubt.
First team foul. At the line for Chicago, Michael Jordan, taking 2 shots.
He throw good, Jordan. Hodges checked in for Purdue. Antoine Carr, he's checked in for the Hawks. And he makes both free throws. 1:58 left in the fourth quarter. They need to find a high percentage shot, Clark, to regain some of that confidence.
I think they've gone too long without seeing one go down, and that begins to mess with your psyche.
Here is Hodges. Here's Jordan. Oh, and the jam by Jordan.
Greg Hodges is more than just a shooter, folks. He knows how to get the ball to his open teammates.
And so it's Smith with it. He'll bring it up for Atlanta. Pass to Livingston. They get a hand on it. Back to Smith. And Smith gets double teamed. And there's the pass to Livingston. Shot clock at 5. And the shot is long.
Tell you what, guys, you don't see that often. I mean, when he's this open, hey now, yeah! And, you know, Jordan loves muscling in through contact, takes a lot of pride in overcoming all challenges when he's taking the ball to the hoop.
Pass to Livingston. Here's Tony. Jordan looking it over.
And this run has helped seal the win.
And so it's Atlanta with it. They have yet to put up any points here in the fourth. Tony the pass to Willis. Here's Livingston, guarded by Jordan. Just 5 on the clock. Passes it to Livingston, and he dunks it down.
Really hard not to see the open teammate right there. Good find by Willis.
34 seconds left in the fourth. And Hodges kicks to Jordan. And he hits the bucket.
Looking to stretch this lead out even further, going right after his shot.
An assist.
Smith against Hodges. Outside Willis. Tony against Armstrong. It's Jordan with the drive.
And this is why you just can't give Jordan a running start. I mean, once he has that, the launch pad is set, and he's going to ecstasy right through the air and on top of your head.
And the Chicago Bulls, Clark, managed to pull out the win here tonight with Michael Jordan delivering a terrific performance to overcome Wilkins and these Atlanta
For coming out tonight.
Yeah, Kevin, able to beat Dominique's offensive talents once again. Always special, though, to watch these two go at it head-to-head. MJ got the better of Dominique this time.
He did tonight. But looking beyond